but it's like, yeah, it's just easier to get if you do it this way.
And here we are, kids. We are now on YouTube. This is JLJ Media. Who the fuck am I? This is the GH Mini Spotlight 6-year anniversary. I've been celebrating all day. If you don't watch me all day, I've been celebrating all day. All these anniversaries here on JLJ Media. I'm one of your hosts, James Lott Jr. And 6 years ago, on a Craigslist ad, I applied for something, and people found me for another show that I was doing, which that 6-year anniversary is coming up, I think, in September. And two of them are here, of course, and they decided to join for this little crazy venture on this show. I decided to turn it into a recap show also. And that is Frank Moran and Lacretia Lyon. Hello, you guys.
Hey.
I did not think
sometimes what?
Because I thought James would be like hanging out with Jimmy Kimmel. We would never see him again.
We'll put that in a second, kids.
I was just gonna say sometimes you answer a Craigslist ad and it works out. Just not most of the time, guys.
It totally did work out. I actually still talk to some of the folks who didn't make the cut. We're still friends. I talk to some of them still after all this time. And one of them became a huge telenovela star, Tony Garza. He's a huge telenovela star. So, and we're still friends. So it worked out. Ladine Harvey, of course, dropped off. She's somewhere in Florida or something. But these two are here. And because she wasn't part of this show, only one time she came on the show. And that was Carla Renata. I want to mention her because she did do the other show with Frank after Lacretia and I jumped ship. So.
Wow.
After we jump ship.
Glamorous. How often do you tell those people you didn't pick that you made a huge mistake and you should have grabbed them instead of me? I feel like it's
all the time, Frank. All the time. No, Frank, you are the heartthrob of the group. I said the first day, you're still the heartthrob of the group, whether you like it or not. So there you go. You're still on here. So, but I appreciate you guys very much. That's my friend. And I'm drinking a little something because I'm excited. I do these shows on Sunday, a little something for you guys. Hello, everybody in chat. Just come on in. The water's fine. So little church announcements like I always do. Wide Army Spotlight came out earlier today. So that's out now. We talked all about what was going on there. We love her, Michelle Stafford. And the rumors that were coming out about her that I had to squash online too. Yeah, I squashed that. We love Michelle, so you don't be talking about my girl. So we did that, and that's out now. Meet Tammy Govea and Amanda Russ. And then we had our 5-year anniversary. I get all these numbers. 5-year anniversary of the Bold and Beautiful mini Spotlight and Rewind. We had Lawrence St. Victor on, who's actually writing scripts on Bold and Beautiful. And him and Rena Sofer, former GHer who played Lois, they're hot and heavy as quarter on Bold and Beautiful. It is hot. So we had to talk about him. That's out now too. Let's go ahead and check out Bold and Beautiful mini Spotlight and recap with him. That's our 5-year anniversary. Also, I interviewed Elijah Crow's portrayer, Dan White, last Friday for Jay's Dirty Deeds. He's on. It's out now. Turns out he and I might be related in real life. So we're going to try to figure that out. Who knew? We talk about Elijah. We talk about Maurice Bernard. We talk the whole storyline. That's out now. Check that out. He's a nice guy. And he likes the character of Elijah. And who knows? Maybe if the storyline dies off, maybe he'll be folded into...
Oh, please, no. No, I'm sure he's a lovely gentleman, but we need no more of Elijah and no more Tano and no more of anything.
And that's Frank.
Tell us how you really feel, Frank.
Oh, man.
Yes, and that's out. That's out now. You talked about that's out now too. And yes, I was on Jimmy Kimmel Live. Everybody's asking me, where can you see it? You can still see it. It's May 12th episode with Wanda Sykes. I actually have the show rundown that they use, and he added my name and James. I'm getting this framed. I was on the whole episode, and he gave me the royal treatment. I'm going to actually tell the whole story one day. I'm working on something right now to tell the whole story. And I might be back. I made history. I was the first studio audience guest outside of staff in 14 months, 470 days. So I made history on television late night. So that was kind of a fun thing. It was very nice, folks. Very, very nice. So stay tuned for that. I might be on again. So
whoa, I mean, that'd be awesome.
ABC.com or Hulu. You can watch Jimmy Kimmel Live episodes. But it's May 12th. Wanda Sykes is the main guest.
And they should comment when they watch it that they need you back on the show.
Well, the one video on YouTube went 1 million, and everybody said he want me back. So I'm very indebted to the fans of Jimmy Kimmel. Apparently they liked me. They really liked me, though. They liked me. So I was very shocked. there were only 2 bad comments out of like 1,000. So I was happy about that. That was a change.
Well, if you don't have haters, you got, you know you're doing something right when you have haters.
So I was like, okay, I got a couple of people who said something, but thank you guys in the chat room. Yes, it was a lot of fun. But yeah, I want to be back on. And thanks to Jeffrey C. Graham for kind of connecting me. You guys know who Jeffrey is. So he kind of connected me sort of to this whole journey. So shout out to former AfterBuzzer. And that's against all the church. And Vision Days is on right now, probably finishing up soon. They were back doing their show. They were off last week like we were. All right. Oh.
And Days is good these days.
Days is good. It's really good these days. Yeah. So yeah, they're talking about it right now. They've updated the hourglass. Okay. So I got my notes. We're having this, but again, I want to thank you guys for doing the show with me, because I was doing the show on my own. I decided to turn the show into the recap because AfterBuzz folded. That's why the show was just a spotlight thing that I was doing in addition to that show. And it's my #1 show on the network here. People love this. People love us, apparently, you guys. So I
have nothing else in life, so this is it. James, don't end this, please. I beg you. Please.
I'll keep it going just for you, Frank. Just keep you going.
Yeah, this is just for Frank, guys.
For Frank. That's all it is. Just for Frank.
Thank you.
We'll keep it going. So thank you very much. I actually want to start off with the really fun episode they did on Friday. Yeah, I thought, and universally, it was really liked. I think everyone. I didn't see any bad comments about it, actually. I don't know if you guys see that.
Which is rare for GH fans. Yeah. I gotta say, I want to give you all kudos for this. There was not a lot of shit talk, and there shouldn't have been. But I know that some people can't help themselves, and I just appreciate having and being able to watch it without all the spoilers. It was just a good episode.
It was. I think, and also, I'm sorry. I know. Oh, someone brings up we can call in. I know I don't have that capability yet. I don't know I don't know how to do that. But yeah. Oh my God, Frank was sending you to the Tano. They said.
No. God.
You'll get a drink. They're gonna send you there. Get some food. Get that sauce, sunny sauce.
Right.
Sunny sauce. I wish you could call in too. I don't have that capability that would make any sense. So maybe one day I'll figure it out.
We'll just. James, have them call your personal cell phone. You can just hold it up to the.
Yeah, they're not. Yeah, no one's getting this number. Sorry, folks. Not be stalking me on here. Call me about General Hosptial all hours of the day. That's not gonna be happening. No. So if I can figure that out one day, maybe that's kind of what. Yeah, it was a nice one-off.
Skype.
The only thing that I heard, this guy could do this. Guy, this is just true. The one thing I heard though, you were making kind of a little tiny bit of. Was throwing shade at Felicia going off on Anna. That part of people were kind of like,
oh yeah,
girl. Like you could say that was very small shade I saw. I didn't see anything else.
I'm pretty defensive of Felicia and Lucky as parents, because I understand that this is a business and how the shows work, and that the actors weren't available, and they have to write something because you guys will not accept them. So either they have to say they're dead or they're off being a bad parent. And I know you don't want the former, so you have to accept the latter or you will get the former. And this is one of those things that people have always brought up, and it was written into the show, but at the same time, we're all adults, at least that watch this show, I assume, and understand how things work. And it was a good scene and it made sense into the context, but you got to throw up some random fact while it is in the show, you understand it's because Christina Wagner didn't want to be on here, and you would have complained if they recasted it. So they're damned if they do, damned if they don't, guys. Seriously.
Yeah, sure.
True. I mean, yes, you've got the real life situations in there for sure. But the line where Felicia says, if you would have told me that Peter was terrible, I would have made other plans. So just your daughter getting married was not good enough to make other plans.
I thought that too. I thought that line killed me too. I was like, okay, girl, okay. Because you take care of a great aunt now, right? Is Granny dead? Is that what's going on? Great is she dead? So now it's a great aunt or whatever. I'm like, they're all sick. Mariah died, and they're all sick over there. I'm like, okay, she's not even a nurse. I did laugh at that, but you're right, because you're right. I mean, this is real life stuff. But she did finally understand, and they came to. But the episode itself was just really. I mean, everybody in the chat room too said it just was really well done. Reminded us of GH of old, the good GH of old. It was nice seeing the flashbacks when Monica was kissing him, and also I just love seeing that. It was kind of fun seeing the flashbacks, seeing how young they all were.
Always a good time to see, like, the scene, location shooting. So the fight on the gondolas was great.
Yeah. Yes. Oh yeah. All the used to get do that stuff all the time. Like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I remember that fight on the. I remember that whole scene too. I remember that whole thing. But it's like, yeah, he needs to go on location, not just in the backyard with the fence that Frank loves so much.
Yeah.
The bench and the fence.
Even like the last time you see like characters laugh within scenes, like Sean and Tiffany's, vows.
Yeah.
Elsie Mae. I know that's something. I mean, it was so good. That's part of the heyday of GH. Back, I was mostly complaining that Anna didn't deserve that.
Yeah, I love Anna too, but sometimes Anna's not perfect, and
she's not. We love her. We love her. We think she's good. But yeah, everybody on Friday was reminiscing. It was such a good. It was just a good scene, and then with the daughter of Wiley, so folks, I was following this chick on TikTok. I love her TikToks. Like, she has like 1 million followers. She's huge on TikTok. I did duet with her. She did this one show, TikTok. She's like, James, is that you? So of course I had to do a duet with her on it. And I've always loved her. Her name was Caitlin Riley. I didn't know she was the daughter of. So I'm like, wait a minute, I know this chick. I was like, oh my god, it's like, and I love her. I thought she did a great job. I thought she did a fine job.
Yeah, she was great. Just stepped right in, working with all those vets. That was really nice to watch.
I don't know. I mean, there's part of me that's like, I'd be down to see like a WSB side of the show come back and see more involvement of that. I mean,
you have so many characters still on there, so why not? I mean, because you have Valentine, you have Anna and Robert, of course, and then there's like ancillary characters from that, like Mac. I mean, we could get more Mac involvement. I mean, Kevin, even Dr. Kevin Collins was involved with the WSB. Dante.
Yeah,
I know. I just because I wasn't a Guza fan, so I wasn't huge in the mob years. That got on my nerves. I liked WSB years. I liked the Strange Castline years. I mean, that was all my stuff. Like when Nicholas said this thing, I'm gonna show my father's side. I was like, I do want to see more of that. I want to see more Castline action. I mean, that's what I want. I want to see that. So I was like that. But yeah, Caitlin. Everybody said it. Caitlin was great as Annie. It was good to have her on there. Good seeing Monica and Laura. People you don't see talk ever anymore. Seeing them talk to each other. Seeing Robin back. I'm like, that was such. It was just matter of fact, which made sense. It was just a matter of fact things. She was there with her parents. I love Kimberly McCullough. I love Robin. I always wish she would come back, but I know she's busy doing other stuff. But
she's busy directing. I'm surprised they haven't had her direct some episodes at DH. Like,
I know. Yeah. I know. I mean, it's great. And then we get to hear Sharon Wyatt's voice on the phone. So I don't know. Do you know anything of why she didn't actually come back on the show? Or is she not well?
She's in Tennessee, I understand, right?
Oh, she's in Tennessee.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that may be it. The logistics of like the COVID protocols that they have that, most people, I mean, that's what happened with like the Supernatural finale and a lot of stuff. It's like, people don't want to quarantine for 2 weeks for 1 day of work.
That's
and true. Like that may be a lot of it, because I know even with YNR, like Patrika Darbo is zooming from home to do those scenes.
Yeah. Okay. So I wasn't sure. I had a feeling it had something to do with that. I wasn't sure, but it was good to hear her voice. I talked to Laura, and I talked to Annie. It was like, I used to love Tiffany. I was like,
yeah.
That's right.
Hey,
Frank.
Like here's Frank and his vest.
That just as the passage of time, we all lose that fight. So good old Sharon Wyatt at the end talking to Caitlin.
We're a little long. But,
a little long, a little rough. So
they said she's having jaw surgery or something. So maybe that was it.
Okay.
But
a little too much when it got to, and your father's inside you, and his like, oh, okay, we're good.
That was soapy. That was extra soapy. That was just for you guys. Some kind of soap there. So yes, WSB Tano. That's so funny. Yes, they all. I mean, that's really funny. But it was good.
It's
So
all
I mean,
connected.
I thought it was a great tribute to a character who wasn't important on the show for like many years. And he did cross. I was actually watching some episodes recently of him when Laura returned, and it was just some good stuff. There's some really good stuff. Okay, so now we get to the rest of the week or so. We weren't here last week. We won't be here next week because it's going to be Memorial Day weekend, and I will be in Sacramento with my kids. So we'll not be. We'll be back in the first week.
I'll just be here.
I'll just be sitting here waiting.
Like
I'm going to my kids and grandkids.
Yeah.
But we're back in June. It could be June's coming up. It's kind of crazy. Okay, I want to talk about Cyrus for a second because there's a scene. Tammy Govea, who's on our show, caught this also. There are times when Cyrus and Laura are together, where she's tough and she's like in there. When he starts to yell, she jumps or flinches.
Yeah.
Interesting. It happened again this week. I mean, but later she got his face. When he started threatening to get, she got his face. It's a very interesting dynamic. I mean, like he basically declared war on her, basically.
Well, they're so good together. And this is why, like, I get that we're not supposed to like Cyrus. I mean, he is the villain, but I really like Jeff Kober and I like this villain. And I like that it's tied to Laura and all the interweavings with the family and the history of the show. And I think it just works. It really elevates Jeannie, and he works so well with bringing into like Nicholas and Tad. I mean, Michael Knight's character. But yeah, it's really interesting how they've gone even with Sasha and Cyrus. Like that was good, and I'm really intrigued. And Jeff's such a great actor, and I think they realize that, and that's why like they're keeping him around for a while because Cyrus is going to win until Sonny comes back, right?
Okay. Well, what do you think, Frank?
It was interesting there in the conversation between Laura and Cyrus because, there was whether Laura just doesn't want to like be disingenuous at all and just speak truth constantly, but like, hey, if you're trying to at least, play Cyrus a little bit, and it's not really even playing, but the reason Laura really went off is like what really hit it. She wasn't a fan of this dinner at all, but when he started talking about Spencer,
yeah,
I mean that ticked off Nicholas first, and then that really lit up Laura. So for her not to even mention, like, you start trying to insinuate, something with my grandson, get out of here. And I wanted Laura to be kind of having a little fire back about that, as opposed to Cyrus like, oh, you screwed me over, and now you've got an enemy. So. A good a good scene, but I thought there were some parts in there that I was like, why are we having Laura light back into Cyrus a little bit?
Yeah, because I think Spencer is going to be a bigger part of this. We will be seeing Spencer. There's too much talk about him not.
I kind of agree with that too. I feel like they're mentioning him a lot. He's like the missing piece of all this. But Laura, she raised her fist. She was just like, are you I mean, it's going to be very interesting. And I love that her and Ava and Nicholas are working together.
Yeah.
Sure.
Ava, like, this is what I love about Ava, is just how she's grown. And this is her first marriage. And to see her actually be a good, supportive wife to Nicholas and care about him and his family is a nice touch to see how far she's come, especially since Kiki's death. And she doesn't have all this baggage like some of the other characters who've married for other reasons. While she got into this initially just to, get the power, she does have feelings for Nicholas and kind of always did. I mean, that first scene on the plane when it was Tyler Christopher even, there's been a spark there for a while, and it's nice to see it play out in a healthy way. Or not too healthy, though, or it'd be boring.
No, but I mean, I like where it's at, and I really wish we would have done this even from the beginning, because the Ava and Nicholas, their contrived marriage at the beginning just irritated me, and having those two characters just so at odds with each other was just irritating to watch. And so this, with her actually on the same side, is great. And there can still be conflict within the marriage for sure, but it's like I like it being an external conflict and not an internal one.
Yeah, it was good. I like Jeff Kober. I like him too as a Cyrus. And the scene with him and Sasha was very interesting because, and I was actually shocked. Sasha told Brandon he was the father. Like she didn't. I thought for sure. I was very happy.
Yeah, that was good. And I liked that she didn't tell Cyrus, because I was like, oh, they're going to blow this up. It's funny to screw Carly over, but this won't be good. But I'm like, oh no, Sasha proved she can tango. And that was great.
I mean, I think it would have been kind of disingenuous to Sasha's character to have her not tell Brando after she's been seeing what the effects of her lying has done to so many other people. You know, it was nice to see, like, yes, she has learned that she's got to be honest when it counts.
Yeah, I agree. It shows how much she's grown. And like, especially being in recovery, I like that they have been writing this well. It's almost like they have somebody in the room that understands where people are coming from, and that this is about honesty and not falling back into old habits and things like that. And they do show her talking about that and moving it with Curtis in the opening of the club. There seems to be a little bit more attention paid to things like that, which I like.
Yeah, I totally agree. I totally agree with that. So, and then we got on the other side of that. Oh, go ahead, Frank.
Oh no, and it was nice to see this explode. I mean, I can't say that it hasn't been planted along the way. Is that Cyrus is always kind of, when he runs into Sasha, there's always some kind of little bit here and there. And now this week it really picked up. Where you're like, well, yeah, this guy's just kind of bonkers for Sasha, and just to see like, I want to know who this man is to make sure he's good for you. Like, get out of here.
Well, and what's funny is, like, it really is believable, despite Gladys, who I love because she's the worst. But it's like, seriously, guys, like, I am surprised that not everyone is interested in Sasha, like, because she's a 10 and she's fun and interesting. Okay. So, like, yeah, it boggles my mind why Michael and Chase are fighting over Willow, but Cyrus and Brando being into Sasha, duh. Have you looked at her? Just that.
Doing Young and the Restless this morning, we were talking about how I said Billy and Lily bore me.
Really? I like them.
That's fine. I just they don't do nothing for me. I said, but they remind me. I like Billy as a character. I like Lily as a character. Them together, I'm not for or against them. They just don't excite me at all. I said it reminds me of Michael and Willow, where I don't mind the characters.
They're not that bad.
They serve purposes to me, but I mean, when I see their scenes, I just nothing. I'm not excited or disgusted by them. I'm neither. I'm just like, I'm blank towards them.
Well, it's funny because I like them because they're phone time. Like, I can play on my phone when they're on.
But see, my point, exactly.
But yeah, and it's one of those that I don't mind them together because I don't really see them working with other people right now. And because Brooklyn and Chase work so well together a lot. And it's not like Willow and Chase weren't cute and that, Michael and Brooklyn are related. But Sasha, her and Brando belong together, guys. Like, 210s, beautiful baby. Sorry, that's just life. But where I did like Michael and Willow, though, this week was when Brooklyn and Valentine were at it after the whole Olivia incident. And Willow was just laughing. Like they're both over there giggling at them, going back and forth, being funny. And I was like, okay, I liked that.
That part was fun. I just they don't excite me. I mean, having stuff happening at the Quartermaines makes me happy because it's like we have pieces of Quartermaines left.
Yeah,
it's a show of its former self. But whenever they get together, I'm always happy though because like those scenes will be entertaining. So when you have Michael and Willow being there, of course, but if you have Brooklyn and then you have Ned and there's something about it. They're holding up the tradition. They're trying to hold it up. Yeah,
but that's what I liked. Yeah.
Oh no, I feel like the frustrating thing is that primarily Michael and Willow's scenes are about somebody else usually. It's about Wiley or they're talking about Chase. Like very rarely are they really discussing just something about the two of them that's going on amongst the two of them. So it gets frustrating.
I hate to break it to you, but that's called privileged white people. They are boring. All they have is other people's lives to make them seem interesting.
That's hilarious.
So that honestly is the most honest relationship on this show, I guess. And most realistic. Because I just put that together that it's like, oh yeah, well, that's boring white people who've always had things. Like they've never had to develop a personality.
No.
Y'all can bring up the cult stuff with Willow, but that's all white girls get into cults that come from privileged backgrounds. So yeah, like, right? Or at least the internet would believe you.
It's like, Michael, he's been in prison. He's, his father, is.
Oh yeah, Michael's had some stuff. Okay, yeah.
He's been in
he should be more interesting.
He should be.
Yeah.
Like, come on, Michael, you got more going for you.
Yeah, I'm surprised we haven't had conversations with them about their horoscopes. Like they're such white bread. It's like, oh my God, are you a Leo? Guys, I'm writing dialogue for Michael and Willow if you want ideas. Like
I'll be right back. There's something outside. There's some shooting outside my window. So hold on, I'll be right back.
Oh wow.
All right.
Well, this is exciting, guys.
But, we did get to see. Valentine moving into the Quartermaine mansion, which is like, all right, why not?
I know. Even my mom enjoyed that shirtless Valentine scene when he walked in on Olivia. She's like, "Oh, he looks pretty good." I was like, "Duh."
There you go. I do like. I think we had this whole wing to ourselves, so I could just walk around whenever I wanted to. Like, all right, for sure.
Yeah. Making himself at home. And I will say, like, I do feel like they're testing Valentine and Olivia a bit because Lisa's funny too. And I feel like even if they don't go there, they'll have some mishaps, because I do want her and Ned to get back together. And I like that that's Brooklyn's plan. And I feel like she thinks, everybody being there and all this is going to push them together. So, and I love that Monica loves the chaos too. So it's funny that you have Valentine and now you have Chase, and it's just going to be a big old family affair.
No, that's, the Chase thing, it's just like, how much longer are we just going to drag this out? Just tell the guy.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, we love you, but you're yesterday's news.
Yeah, well, maybe they should just be in a polyamorous relationship together. Like, that would be the boring white people route to go to. But Chase and Brooklyn just makes so much more sense. Even though her and Valentine are fun, but I feel like he's earned Anna at this point, right? Like,
does Valentine forgive Brooklyn? I don't think so.
Yeah, that's true with the whole lying. And that's what's weird is I do feel like Valentine would be okay with this if they hadn't lied to him at first. He would have stood up and gone along with this plan, and he would have been more than willing to give his shares or anything like that, because he was willing to give that to help Nina and Wiley. So that's what's interesting is, like, you're making an enemy of somebody who would have been willing to go along with all this, protect the baby, claim paternity, all of that.
I feel like that's going to be the downfall of this Peter storyline, at least for the good guys, is that everybody's got separate plans, but nobody's talking to each other. And eventually all these plans are going to kind of bump into each other and derail all of them.
I'm okay, folks. There was some fire outside my house.
Oh, man.
And the system app just told me also there was. So I don't know what was going on, but I thought it was so close that I was going to have to duck. That's why I literally had to, say, I got to check see what's going on. So I did. So my brother and I are okay. We're fine. They just stopped. But it was 13 shots fired. Don't know how. I have no idea why. But it was happening as you were talking. I was like, should I duck? It happened the other night in my house, and I had to duck. They were shooting right across the street. Don't know what's going on, but I am fine. Everybody, I'm fine. I'm here. I'm like, that's a little weird. I was like, it's very close to my ear. I was like, something's going on. What's going on right there?
That's crazy. And based on where you're at, that seems frequent, but that happened here not too long ago. Like, even in East Texas, right over here, we're like, that's gunshots. Like,
I know what fireworks sound like. And I know what gunshots sound like. Very different. So I was like, and my sister just texted me. She's 2 blocks away. She goes, was that gunshots? I'm like, yes, girl, it was gunshots.
Yeah.
So we're having a even though my neighborhood of Inglewood is changing, it's getting more gentrified or whatever, but it's still fighting wherever that is. So there's all kinds of stuff going on. So
yeah, that new stadium should help, but
I know. It's getting there. Just parts of it getting there. But it's Anywho's it. That's my own soap opera going on right now. You guys were talking about all that stuff. I want to jump in with that and say, I lost my train of thought. I was going to say, it's live television, bitches. It's live television. I don't know what I was gonna say. What were you guys talking about just now? So I can just remind me so I can get back into
Valentine and
So everything I was saying, I feel like they are testing things around because it's still that whole Olivia Robert thing.
Yeah.
It's still something there. It feels weird that Ned doesn't live at the house. It does feel weird.
Yeah.
Like,
and I like that they bring up that it's weird though.
Yeah,
I like when they acknowledge weirdness. Like,
I agree. It's like they're actually bringing it up. I'm like, it is kind of low where he's not at the house. I mean, like, he doesn't live there.
But it was nice that at least there was some steps towards a possible reconciliation between Ned and Olivia. Yes. So, I mean, her and Wally Coates saying that was a nice song that he had written. So,
yeah.
That was very sweet. I know we weren't on when that happened. I did love that. He wrote the song. Wally Kurtz wrote the song. He talked about it. And I loved it. I thought it was such a great close one. You see that she's feeling bad because it's like there's no baby.
And she's seeing this change in her dad and all the relationships. And I do feel like we are seeing Brooklyn grow up and care about this baby, even though it's not her baby. So I do feel like this will be a good direction for her character because as much as I love Brooklyn the way she is, she's getting a little old for some of the behavior.
And you have to grow up at some point. You have to grow up at some point. But it's funny because it's still an umbrella story. So we're mentioning them, but it also affects even more people. So we got this, we have all this going on over here, and all this going on over here. And we have this over here. We have the Maxie thing happening.
For Baby Moon.
Baby Moon.
Yeah.
And I
what's a baby moon?
Bobby. So bringing Bobby in, smart. I thought history. Talking about BJ's heart and everything. I was like, oh.
I know. That just really hit everyone.
Yes, I'm so glad they have not forgotten that. I'm so glad they're still talking about it.
That's the thing about Maxie is a living reminder of that, for better or for worse, and that is still considered, even by like the biggest publications and everybody, to be one of the biggest storylines of all time, one of the hardest hitting moments. I mean, everything about that. I mean, and it still rings true. And that's what's nice to have Maxie on canvas for, is to be that reminder and all that history. Because again, she was Sean Donnelly's goddaughter. Sorry, salmon it up here.
I love it. Very, very, very true. Very true. So I'm glad they went back in history and talked about that. But Bobby will be helping. But we still got Brooklyn still trying to get over there. They're still trying to leave. So I mean, I will say, actually, in a weird way, I'm at the edge of my seat waiting to see what's going to happen. Like, I mean, how's it going to work? I mean, will it work? I mean, it can go any direction right now. It can go any direction.
Because I almost feel like it should work at least for a bit. Because to me, and this is what I wonder, is because I have it on good authority that Peta will not survive Baby Moon and go into June Bloom. So is it going to be...
Don't get me excited.
I know. I mean, I have heard some things, but this is where I've always been going with this storyline, is like, does it happen because this is stopped, and yet we still don't want to stop it with Brooklyn and Valentine raising this baby? Because that to me is like, to set all this up and then that not happen, at least briefly, is kind of a waste. But we've seen them kind of pull away from stuff in the past that's not working. But I think people thought this was working. But does Maxie get to kill Peter? I don't know. Like, or think she kills Peter. Because I have a feeling that Maxie is going to like go off at least for a while.
Yeah, I mean, it would be, I think out of all the machinations, I guess, there's probably the two people that are most connected to Peter are Anna and Maxie. But so I feel like both of them have a hand in it.
Don't forget Valentine.
Yeah.
True. Well, I guess he gave him away. So but I would put him 3 if I was ranking them. And it's tough for me to decide between Anna and Maxie, who I'm going to put at number 1 for that.
I would say Maxie at this point, because Anna's already kind of gone off, and doesn't, because Maxie still has the connection with the baby. If we're ranking like people, and that to me is like, if Valentine kills Peter, he has the guilt himself, but that's kind of like a weak turn because he's somebody who was willing to do that all along, like put him out, like even though he loved him like a son and all that. But if it's somebody like Maxie who hasn't been aware of all this and hasn't really been in this position, it's way more interesting to see it be somebody, or they could go out of left field and it be like Liz or Cameron or somebody too.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think the idea, I agree with you about the Mexican thing, because I think it's, I mean, you know, depending on how quickly they want to age up that character, but to be able to tell your child that I killed your father, that's why he's not around, because I killed him, is a much more interesting dynamic than either Anna or Valentine killing him.
Yeah.
Well, I find Peter bugs the crap out of me, as you guys all know anyway, but I've liked evil Peter more than the other Peter, because I'm like, at least they're going.
That was palatable. Yeah.
Yeah, I can actually handle that. His delivery.
But get rid of that nurse. He just got I like that he just brought her out to like a dumpster.
Yeah, a dumpster. That was it, kids. I said I can handle evil Peter. My Peter Lee just say, sure, okay, I go with that. You do whatever you want, I guess, whatever. Very interesting. But he hired a chick that was like, why does she look familiar to me? And someone pointed out she's from Guiding Lights. She played Mara Lewis, and I was like, oh. So this chick was like, I can handle this. Don't worry about me. I know how to get people to trust me and everything. But Maxie is trying to ditch this chick too, giving her a massage or whatever.
Oh yeah.
I think it was laughed about that too. So I'm like, this Peter, he's actually good as a creepy guy because he's so overstepping all the time. He just oversteps all the time. He's literally delusional and does not care. Does not care.
There was that scene of we finally found out who's got the vials, and that's Chloe, the vials of Chase and Cure. But the scene where she puts him in that safe and then turns around and then just smiles. Like, what was that scene? Why did we have that? Oh, okay.
It's like, we got to know she's evil too, Frank. They wanted us to know. Like,
sure. Hi.
Yeah. You see? Evil.
Well, and Cyrus was threatening Peter, saying, Jason, come get you. Very careful. Don't get too relaxed. Because I think Cyrus is a little scared of Jason, too. He's a little scared of him. He's saying, like, you saying he's really smart. So, I mean, Carly's one thing. But he's like, this Jason dude that he played with. And Peter's like, I can handle it. Basically, I can handle him. And
Peter's so delusional.
I know. Cyrus is like, okay, MFer, you think you can handle that, but good night. So I'm like, I started laughing. When the bad guys are talking together, I'm like, okay.
Yeah, like Cyrus knew to take out Jason first.
Yeah.
Because he knows Jason is the biggest threat. Peter thinks because he held Jason captive for all that long, but you held up a injured, drugged up Jason. Like, you haven't dealt with full stone cold Jason Morgan.
Nope. No.
And now that he's got his new Robin, Britt, by his side, which I am loving this. Like, I love me some Britt, and I love this whole storyline. It's really made me like Jason again.
They're in Canada, but here's the thing that made me think of both of you. Because I was just like, having Sam find them. That's why my voice is changing, because it just disturbed me so much. Having Sam find them and almost demand, I'm going with you. Thanks, Britt, for everything. I was like, Britt, like, what, bitch? Like, excuse me?
Mm-hmm.
Like, Sam being there was so unnecessary. It was so unnecessary.
And it's just like, why does everyone have to tell Sam how to be a parent? It's really pathetic when Carly's telling you, when Jason, when Britt, when everybody, Dante is telling you, hey, this is a violation of your parole. You have 2 kids. For the love of God, these kids either need to go live at the Quartermaines permanently, and Sam does need to face consequences. Like she said, being a cell next to her mother. Well, your mother, I have a lot more respect for going to jail and then repenting. You bitch, nope, you're still all up that Morgan butt. And it's so pathetic.
It's frustrating because this has been Sam since she originally got out on parole, where it's constantly other characters having to tell Sam about this and never having Sam realize, oh yeah, I can't do this because of that. And it's just like, this character is so terribly written. It's just garbage.
I'll be back in a second. The helicopter's over my house. Back in a second.
All right. It's
well, we'll just bitch about Sam. Like we can cover like 20 minutes on this.
Oh, I just can't stand her as a character. I mean,
oh yeah, like I would take Peter over Sam any day. Like, because the Sam character is just done. Like, to me, it's like, no, there is no coming back. They've tried this Dante thing and it ain't working out. And the best I can tell, that was the last ditch effort. And it's just like, it doesn't work. This character doesn't work. And a lot of it does have to do with the fact that I feel like everybody involved with this character is just over it.
Yeah, there's just really, I mean, maybe this character is usable in a little while, but it definitely, at the very least, this character needs a rest.
Yeah.
To be able to come back with some kind of, agenda that we haven't seen yet, that you can just take the character in a different direction. But as it stands right now, it's just like she's offering nothing. And that scene between her and Dante, where
a
check for all this, just awful. And I mean, whatever is happening off camera with these, allegedly with these two actors, it's like, in show, it makes zero sense for these two characters to be together, and it's just like, don't do this to Dante. Oh,
yeah, because that's sort of the thing is like, Dante is a beloved character. Let's not waste him on someone's last ditch effort with the show. I mean, I don't even care how bitchy that sounds or whatever, but we all like Dante. We're happy to have him back. We all understand that Dante's real love is Lulu, and this would be a fling at best. But to me, just the way that they've set this up, it's like the fact that he's getting back on the police force and all this, it's like, why set him back? Like, he's got a son to take care of, and he's having to tell her she has 2 kids to take care of. And she got out of all this to take care of the kids, and it's flip flop. I mean, that's the stuff that annoys me the most, is like, and that's what annoys me about Willow. But at least, like, I can stomach Willow any day over Sam. Sam is just done for me, because the difference is, like, Sam is a character that we've been stuck with in this same perpetual cycle of, I love Jason, but I wanted to be a parent and he didn't. Now we have kids, but I got to protect him from the mob. But now I want Jason. I could go to jail, so I'm going to stay away. But now I want to, fight for it. Now I don't. Like, make up your fucking mind, bitch.
What's frustrating about those scenes too is, I mean, I think everybody is that, like, especially towards Dante, is like, now that he decides to become a cop again, all of a sudden he's kind of the bad.
Yeah.
I'm like,
yeah, it's so stupid. It's like, no. And it's like, oh yeah, my mom would be mad. Well, your mom would be mad taking a mother away from her kids that she knows. But at the same time, Olivia, like, let's not make her an idiot either. Sam is putting her kids in danger and breaking the law and doing all the wrong things. Olivia may have that reaction to begin with, but ultimately, if you're putting these kids' lives in danger, like, that may be the best thing for them.
Yeah. It's like, I mean, and we've talked about this before, but like, being a police officer on a soap opera is a thankless role, because you've always got to be the bad guy. You're always the one that's stopping other people from the fun stuff in their storylines. And it's just like, it gets a little tiresome.
Yeah, and Annie Goen brings up a good point. I don't understand why Dante and Maxie can't happen. There is so much chemistry there in history. You know how much more interesting it would be to pair Dante and Maxie, and then Lulu come out of the coma, her best friend and the love of her life, and they already had this connection. With Sam, it's like we're having to build from the ground up, even though they've known each other for a while. And yes, the actors have chemistry, but it's irrelevant when it doesn't make sense for the story. And you have to keep rewriting a character every day. And while she's always been a wishy-washy lunatic, it's so pathetic. Like, that's the best way to describe Sam, is pathetic. And let's not ruin Dante for this.
It was interesting. I mean, and I don't know, maybe it stems from this, maybe it's just a coincidence or just, real life happenings that are influencing it. But the episode last year, I guess, when Sonny imagined that his life has changed and that he didn't feel that guy, and it ended up being Dante kind of involved with the Jeromes, and Sam was his girlfriend. And it was interesting in that off episode, it's like, oh, these are totally different characters that have lived different lives. That is an interesting pairing. But the characters as they exist currently in the real GH universe don't work well together. And it's just too hard to try to make that happen. It's just, it's not, for me, it's not believable.
Yeah, and it's for all the crap that people have given GH for trying to force Peter and Maxie. That's exactly what's going on here. Yes, do they have a little bit more chemistry? But I mean, so do Michael and Chase. I mean, they have way more chemistry and they won't go there. So, I mean, I'm just saying, guys, chemistry means something, but not that much, especially if you have to really destroy one character to even make it work, or you have to like do all these leaps and bounds and everything. It just doesn't fucking work. Like,
yeah, well, it's hard. I mean, if you were going to write that Lulu, everybody thought Lulu was dead, then I think it's an easier sell to try to get Dante going in this direction. But the fact that we know that he still loves her, that he still cares about her, and she's in this coma, makes it hard for me to buy that Dante's going to move on and get involved with anybody else.
Yeah, certainly not this fast. Like, I understand that it was in November, but being as long as it took Lulu to get with Dustin, and I get Dante's a guy, but Dante also has a new job, a son, and then there's still Charlotte in his life, like, and his family is there. It's not like Dante's some man on an island who needs help either. Like, none of this makes any sense. I mean, of course, Sam, I mean, the woman's never been single in her life. Like, this is probably the longest we've ever seen the character without, getting between the sheets with somebody. But, why Dante? Like, she's been with his dad. She's, they share a brother. I mean, it's just really weird.
Yes. How's the helicopters, James?
Over my house. My brothers came in my room. It's circling over my house. I just did it. If you follow me on Instagram, I just posted it. It's flying directly over my house because the shots are right over there. Now the police are coming. So I don't know what's going on. They're trying to find the suspect or whatever, whoever's doing it. But I saw some gunpowder in the air over there when I went over there earlier. So.
Oh wow! It was that close.
It was that close. It was really that close. So I said, I thought my brother and I, both our windows are facing that, so we're like, we have to duck. You just saw me duck live on air, maybe. But luckily, I used to try to find the person. It's still circling over my house. It's like so loud, circling over my house. So I just took video of that. I'm like, that's very interesting today. I mean, it's a Sunday at 4 something in the evening. Like, what the F is going on here? I'm like, it's nice and calm. I don't know what's going on. So it's very strange that's happening today.
He's trying to find you to be a guest on the show. He wants to come in and celebrate the anniversary.
Right. So come on in, everybody. The water's fine. Come on in. Let's all talk about GH and how we hate Sam. You guys covered all that, so that was good. You guys all covered. I don't even comment on that stuff. All I'm saying comment is I like Jason and Brett. More of them. That she's gonna find out she has Huntington's finally. Let's get that going. So we can kind of handle that.
I don't know. Do you think they'll give it to her or not? Or they'll just give her stuff that...
That's a good question. I don't know.
Yeah. I almost feel like because of the reality of Huntington's and, with House, though, like they did give 13 Huntingtons and they did have her go through these protocols and stuff like that. Yeah. But with GH being a more long-term, a plan, if that's where they're going, I see them saying no, or maybe somebody switches the test and makes her think she has it, but you never know. I mean, GH did give Robin HIV, and they've dealt with that since then. And with Huntington's, there is no cure, but just like that, there are protocols and there are treatments, and so it would be interesting to see if they do give her a positive diagnosis, especially considering how young she is. And how it took Faison so long to present any symptoms, but
I mean, it seems like GH will give those characters these really terrible, well, at least sounds terrible diseases, but then ultimately, like Anna's blood disorder, it's just like, oh, we name check it every so often when she shows up at the hospital. Oh, I was just getting another, transfusion, blah blah blah, and it just quickly name checked and moved on. So I don't know if. I feel like they'll give Brit something.
Well, it depends on if they have a big pharma sponsor, I guess, for a Huntington's disease. Sorry, guys, that's what's happened in the past. That's how the industry really works.
That's it. So but you're right. I don't know. I mean, it's going to be very interesting to see what they decide to do with that. I'm not sure, but I like them together. So they're in Canada. Yeah. I just wonder how they're going to figure this all out, because something has to happen to Peter first before they come home, right? That's what has to happen.
Oh yeah.
That's what
I mean. Yeah. Going in with the Gladys and Carly stuff, maybe Gladys recants.
Yeah.
But then it's also, I mean, I guess they still brought up too that Jason still has, like Dante said, a variety of other charges, for just escaping that, are separate than everything that's going on with Peter. So I don't know how you clear that, if that's as easily cleared up or not.
Well, Jason has to be a hero to clear that up because that's literally the formula of this show. It's like, okay, yeah, you're innocent of this, Jason, but you do have all these other charges. Well, now you got to save Jordan or Mac or, Dante, somebody involved in the police force. You have to save them or like a child. And then we're just like, totally forgot, like forgiven. This is literally how everything has happened on GH.
Yes.
So I did like having Diane with Carly talking, giving her legal legals.
Yes.
Oh yes, so just always great to see Diane on the show, and then just really because we do see more Diane Sunny scenes and Diane Jason scenes, but to see a Diane Carly scene, it doesn't happen as often.
Well, yeah, in that capacity. And this is what I like. I am honestly loving Carly as the mob boss. And I'm pissed that it took us this long to get there because it's actually fun. And I love Diane kind of coming in and advising her like she would Sonny or Jason. And then Ava as well being like, I know. So if you need anything, and then even Ava and Carly joking about like how Avery even melts Diane's cold heart and Diane hearing it and then laughing. Yeah, that was a good scene. I liked that.
Anytime Diane it's just telling Carly like, and if you've done this, don't tell me that. Just don't tell me.
Yeah.
So someone wants to know in the chat room, Frank.
Yes.
Now that Dante's cleaned up, will you be shaving? LOL. I say no.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
I'll film
full Rob Zombie. Like, no.
My fully dramatic shower and then, wiping away the steam-covered window to reveal the freshly shorn face. Beautiful.
I want you to do that, Frank. I want you to do exactly that. That's just that way.
Yep.
I did like that Dante dressed up for the first day of work. That was it. He suit-tied it for the first day, and then after that, back to usual Dante. Just kind of half tucked in shirt. That was great.
I don't like Back in the Forest. I think it's dumb, but that's the thing.
Well, what else would he do? Like, security was stupid. Like, I mean,
that was dumb too. I don't know. I'm just like, I don't know. I'm just like,
I mean, the only thing I would have thought of is that since Curtis sold his business to Sam, that Sam and Dante worked as PIs. If you were trying to go that route of getting them together.
Oh well, it's like I forgot
heart to heart or something. Yeah.
I forgot that Michael was running Aurora. I thought we never had a scene of him there. I forgot until homeboy mentioned it. Well, aren't you running Aurora? I'm like, oh, that company really? I still have it. I didn't even his half. I forgot all about that.
Michael's been working at home, like, and when Jax was shot, like, I guess maybe he went into the office a day or two because don't they both run shit?
I guess. Do we ever see it? No. I'm just guessing that they.
Here's the thing: is what would be more boring, watching Michael and Willow or watching Michael run Aurora? So.
Watching Michael and Willow. I'd rather watch that, some boardroom drama. Hey, Young and Restless does great boardroom drama, and Bold and Beautiful actually has great scenes too at the office. So I'm like, come on, General Hospital.
I mean, there was a time on the show where Crimson, as well as the launch of Deception, were kind of interesting storylines, and neither of these are to be seen. So.
Exactly.
Yeah, it is funny. Like, Deception really had so many people involved, and I mean, I could give two shits about Crimson and all that. Like, but we are having Nina mention it, and she's on a field piece, and changing it up. But I guess we'll get into that later. But like with Deception, like you have Lucy, you have Valentine, Maxie. But I guess with Maxie's pregnancy and now Sasha's pregnancy, they have too much else going on. But. Yeah, I don't give two shits about Aurora. I'm sorry, saving it up again.
Anyway. I guess what we get is, sort of the business, we're getting more hospital. So I guess that's where it's called General Hospital.
It is General Hospital, yeah.
So that, I guess, other stuff gets sacrificed because we do get more hospital, which I do like. I like more hospital. So
and Britt and Finn and Liz, these are the characters we want to see. So yes, let's have them.
That part's true. I'll give you points on that.
I don't know. I really want to see more just under enthused conversations between Jocelyn and anybody about her college plans. Oh, those scenes.
Like, when are we going to get a Joss drug storyline? Because I thought that's what we were building up to with all this Cyrus stuff and her getting the volleyball injury. But it's almost like a lot of stuff where you're like, oh, is this where we're going? And then they puss out. Like,
Okay, I defend that storyline because I was said it just showed a slice of life where they're setting up Jocelyn for something later. Like they're going through. She's making a disappointment. They're saying that they're gonna go to PCU or whatever the fuck that place is called. They're going to that place instead of which I love the inverse of the letters because it's not USC where she is going for real, but it's this SCU or
Southern Coastal. Yeah,
it's Southern Coastal. I started laughing. I go, okay, kids.
Well, and my mom said, why didn't her rich white parents just pay for her to go there and post it? Like they should have done that.
Boy, Lachlan and paid for it. They can't do that.
Yeah, but wouldn't that have been a great storyline to get Jax off canvas? Just saying. Jax goes to jail for paying to get Jocelyn into school. Timely, gets him out of the way. Because what is he doing?
I mean, let's be honest, guys.
I know I'm being annoying.
In terms of like college and university rankings, where do you think PCU falls in there?
I know. I was like, oh my God.
Everybody's excited about PCU, but I'm like, how good is this university?
I'm like, Josh should totally be upset. Girl, you should be upset that you have to go there.
Well, and like Trina's so happy to go there. Like that kind of bothered me because it's like you should like want to go away to school. You should have bigger ambitions. And them acting like that was so great. Like and that was like really like her mom's a doctor. Like you'd think she would be like Stanford, like Cam was or something. It's like I don't like the way that they played that.
It would only work for me is if PCU, if they name check PCU as they're one of the best schools for blank.
For this,
that's what I want to do. But you don't give me that. And I was like, well, what good is this university?
Yeah, because that's the thing is like there are plenty of schools that people have never heard of or they know for that. Like the college I went to, they're the #1 jazz music school in the nation. So like that matters. And Mean Joe Green and all these alumni or whatever went there, but for music and stuff like that. But yeah, it's a music school and psychology. What I majored in, Dr. Phil, he had a program and everything there. Like there's reasons to go to UNT. But yeah, it's not Yale or Harvard, but there would be something like that for PCU. I thought,
who knows?
My college, Cal State Chico, back in the '80s, was known for partying. I went there. They gave me grants. They gave me grants and scholarships. Yeah. That's why James Lott Jr. went there. I was like, oh, okay, I'll go there. I have no college debt right now, so no college loans. I have no debt. So
and you
I got my degree. What?
And you like partying, so
I like partying, pioneer days up there. Plus, Lacretia should appreciate it up there near Humboldt County, so you know what.
Oh yeah, you know what I know. I know about Humboldt County.
I know you do. I was up there, so Cal State Chico, love you folks. I'm alumni. But no, I don't know. I just thought. I mean, I didn't mind the storyline so much. I thought it's kind of real. It's something realistic compared to all the other crazy stuff going out there. Because I think they're going to set up Josh being this new adult. They're all new adults now. They're setting him up as adults. Cameron's troubled. Trina's level-headed but has a temper, and then Josh, we're gonna see which direction she goes because she's part her mother, part not her mother. So I'm gonna be curious to see where she.
I mean, Jack says he hopes she's nothing like her mother. That was a good burn.
I was like, dang, he did say that. I was like, okay. And she was like, she was like, excuse me, like, where you go? You that harsh to me? But yeah, Jax is a useless character. He doesn't really.
But it's a shame because he could be a useful character. He could be.
Yeah.
And it's just, I mean, it's always nice for him to get Carly to acknowledge like that. Yes, their relationship was good and it's not, so I'm always like, all right, yeah, Carly, Jax was a good influence in your life.
Yeah, I mean, had you stayed with Jax, as much as you love to blame Ava, Morgan probably wouldn't have gone down the same path. Just saying. That's
true.
Yeah. Now, I do want to bring something up because Lacretia's been extra black today, which I'm loving. I'm going to bring up something because we weren't on when this happened. And it also ties into everything also. It kind of all these characters we're talking about. So I'm going to mention, I want to make sure I mention this because I went online and said my 2 cents. And even Lauren St. Victor, who's black, but we talked about it today on our show, we talked about it a little bit. The race conversation, because this all ties into the whole shooting and people finding out that Cameron almost grabbed a gun. And when Trina kind of went off on him at first about that, meanwhile, Portia and Jordan had just a regular conversation that I thought was very real about if Cameron was black, it would have been a whole different story. Because I know for me, just viscerally, as a black man in America, when the episode aired, and he grabbed the gun, and the cops were all around him. I had this visceral reaction of, well, of course he's white. He'll get off. He'll get away. Days of Our Lives just storyline so years ago where they actually shot the black. They shot Theo, and they had a whole storyline. And James Reynolds won an Emmy for it, for his portrayal as the father. So I had a visceral reaction to seeing that. I've had guns pointed at me and all that stuff. So I thought the conversation was very needed and was a very welcome change. And it was all the white folks that I saw who were the ones who were angry. Not all white folks, period, but just the ones who complained were white folks. We're like, I want my TV to be separate from real life. They're like, it's a conversation. Like, why can't we have that? I just want to make sure I mention I actually enjoyed that. Many of us people of color who watched soaps enjoyed it, and thought that it was a great, really just an honest conversation about that, because they do gunplay on soaps all the time. It's just like nothing, right? But there are real concepts. I thought it was a real REAL life situation. I thought was very interesting.
Well, and I thought they did a really good job. I mean, even in my position of showing a real conversation, because I have friends that they have these conversations, and they have these conversations with their sons about this. And I like that it was a conversation with Trina and with Cameron too, and that she's the one to be, sadly you have to explain it to them, but it is what it is, to be like, no, yeah, you don't understand. It is different, and it's ridiculous that it is. But I think if we continue to point it out and we continue to prosecute and we continue, all we can do is do better. And I think GH really showed that. And I like that they mentioned where the TJ storyline before, that they kind of like wussed out on, like they were going to tell a whole story to get a conversation going, and then they had to back away for whatever reason, but maybe by the fan response. And this is why some of y'all, it's like, I hate to break it to you soap fans, but guess what? Not all soap fans look like you. They're not all 50-year-old bitter women who don't have any friends that don't look like them. I'm sorry. Guess what? The world has moved on from you. Wake up or watch something else, because I'm sure there's plenty of stuff out there for you on Fox News, not the other network.
Well, my thing is, there are a lot of color who watch the soaps. A large African-American audience watches soaps. It's very large, and so I think having something that resembles or reflects your experience on there is great. I mean, I remember one day I was counting just the opening sequence, and there's all the drops, and I was like, white, 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 black, white, white. Like that's all we see. I mean, that's what people of color is what we see. We see that just normally, and we have to accept it. Just go, okay, this is how it is. The show has a lot of black characters, a lot of black actors on the show, and so I thought that is a great opportunity, especially with Jordan being on the police force, Portia being a doctor. They both have sons and daughter. I mean, I guess it is a conversation. I was taught it as a young child. Always have, be careful, all the different things they tell us. There's a meme going around that was saying, why is it we can't talk to white children about racism when black children learn it early? And I just think that's such an interesting thing. So some of us are just taught, like women are taught certain things that men aren't taught, from girls at a young age. Like don't be this or don't be that, or when they tell you that we're not taught. There's certain things that are taught to certain segments of the population that should be talked about, and why not? And why not on a soap where people are watching it, it's being viewed into, and someone said in the chat room, Trina was actually schooling Cameron and kind of getting him some update on like how life can be for some folks. Why is that I don't understand why it's bad. I don't understand why it's a bad thing. I don't understand that. So I didn't like the outrage from the people I saw. I thought it was just ridiculous. And I think it's ridiculous. I think it's just racist and ridiculous. Who cares? It was one episode. It was a couple of scenes. Why are we? I mean,
not everything's about you people. Sorry. Right. Like
it's better than seeing Sam on every episode. I've been seeing just being, whatever. I'd rather see that. Or seeing Willow and Michael. I'd rather see that for a second. At least saw something real. So I don't know. I thought it was great. Yeah, where's Valerie? I know exactly where's Valerie.
See, because I like that we're seeing Portia in more real scenes about who she is, because I really like her as a character. And I like that we're getting these like glimpses into her personality, and she's becoming a whole person, not just a mother, not just a doctor when we need her. And that's why this stuff with Curtis is so cute. Like, I like her being all flirty and into it.
I think they're putting, they're testing them. They're gonna be together.
Yeah.
Sure. I guess that's what happened there. I think I kind of like it too. Actually, I have no problem with that either. I mean, Jordan and him. I mean, they were okay together. I guess.
Well, but again, I felt like maybe with Jordan and Curtis, like again, one of those where GH like dragged it out so long that by the time they got together, I was like, nah, okay, whatever. So I worry now that the Curtis club opening is becoming the new Five Families meeting. So I'm like, man, let's just get to this nightclub opening already. Let's just do it.
It's gonna be very. I think it's gonna be reminiscent of Luke's, reminiscent of all the old nightclubs where mob stuff's gonna happen there. Something's gonna happen.
Yeah. I mean, it can't be all brought up like this. It's same thing with like the nurses' ball or anything like that. Anytime they talk about an event so much, shit's going down. Like,
yeah, I agree with that. Something's gonna happen, and it's not gonna be good. And it's gonna, I see it's gonna happen. So. Portia's been a breath of fresh air on the show. I agree. Actually, I agree. She's been a great addition to the show.
True, but I don't need to have more reminiscences of her and Curtis's relationship. And remember what you said, and then I said, and then remember what you said. Like, oh, enough of that, guys. Let's just talk about the present and now and moving forward. I don't need. I get it. You guys knew each other back in the day. Great. Let's just go.
I think they're trying. I mean, I think it's a clumsy way they're trying to set up that they're slowly trying to build to them. I think on some level, because I can't remember. Did they sign? Because it's been a couple of weeks. Did they sign the divorce papers? I know she brought them over to her.
I think they did. I don't know. You know how they are. They would probably say like, yeah, they did, and move on from it.
Okay, that's what they got.
Have 20 minutes, unless it was Carly in the scene.
That's so funny.
Sorry, Shady Sunday.
Sunday, I know. But I couldn't. I was like, wait a minute. I think. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. So, but yeah. So that was anyway. So I just want to. That's really interesting stuff. So that's there. And then, okay. What are we missing? I mean,
Tano, baby, Tano.
Oh, oh my God, that's right.
Yeah.
That's what Frank was talking about. Frank, you could be free, Frank. You could just got off the air.
I couldn't end it without telling everybody just the storyline's garbage, and the storyline cannot get over fast enough. And people talking on Twitter that maybe Roger Howard's coming back as Kent from Loving.
Oh, okay, wait.
Great, sure.
Okay, wait a minute.
That's hilarious.
Let's stop there for a second, because speaking of rumors, I heard that one too. I thought that'd be kind of fun if he did. That's kind of a fun thing.
Yeah, because didn't he get fired from that?
He
talked about how he got fired because he sucked.
Yeah, so that's kind of funny. So that'd be kind of funny. But the Cameron Matheson rumors that came out this week.
Ooh.
Lacretia, you don't know who they think he's going to be playing?
Who's that?
Yeah, who's that? We're like.
I can't think of Lacretia this whole time. Rick Lansing.
Really? They think he's going to be a Rick recast?
No, people are it's a rumor, and fans are like, the only Rick is Rick. That's the only Rick out there is Rick.
Rick Hurst.
Rick Hurst. He's hot. He's this. He's that.
Yeah. Oh,
I started laughing. But that's the whole rumor. Is he going to come back as? He's going to come on as Rick Lansing.
Yeah, no. If Cameron is not coming on as like a Stephen Lars or somebody like we would actually care about that would make sense in this storyline, make him his own character. Rick Hurst would come back probably in a heartbeat, and why not? Like, he's awesome, he's hot, again, like we said. Enough said. No. I mean, and it may be true. I don't know. And that's why I'm like, I don't know this, so hopefully it's false.
Yeah, I mean, just this week, it was the latest thing this week I saw.
People love to put wild rumors out there.
Exactly. Like, so I'm saying, folks, it's a rumor. I mean, I heard it's not true. Well, we don't know anything. Nobody, you don't know anything. We don't know anything. I mean, the show could be doing it. We have no idea. But that's the rumor I heard. That I was trying to. Everybody, people were pissed about going. No. There's only one Rick, and that's Rick. So I thought that was kind of funny. So speaking of your Roger Howard thing.
That seems too weird. And I feel like Cameron is way taller than Rick Herbst, so that would just seem weird.
Right, I know.
Yeah.
So like,
have this guy dwarfing Sonny in scenes.
Right, yeah. I mean, it'd be so weird. So anyway, but yes, Tano storyline. So Elijah is a bad guy, apparently. I guess that's basically they decided to go. When I talked to Dan, why we talked about that, and basically, I guess he is somebody. Corinth, of course, was this like bustling town. Back in 20 years ago, but they don't mention the killings or anything. I'm like, hello. I mean, they didn't mention it.
Yeah. Well, and Elijah is hot. But do you think he's tied to like Cyrus? Because that would be a good umbrella storyline. I kind of think that this is all. I mean, this is how things work out.
People were saying that also.
He's just a mob guy, but he's also got real estate development stuff that he's got on the side. He's gonna have a side gig.
People were saying that. People were saying it's tied to Cyrus, which that would make it. As I'm telling you, Frank Moran. As I'm saying, he could be folded into General Port Charles.
No. And
you're gonna begrudge a man a job.
This development between Nina and Sonny, garbage. For all the reasons I've said in the past, it's garbage.
Oh, Frank. I think it's adorable, Frank. But
I
know. Like I feel like they both seem to be enjoying it, and so I'm enjoying it. Like some of it's dumb, like the break-in, but and this is what I love about Nina is like she's so not good at stuff like this. Like, but Elijah's just he's into it, so he was buying it hook, line, and sinker in the beginning.
But see, I feel like that's where we differ, Lacretia, because you find that like Nina's not good at this in a way that's enjoyable. I feel Nina's not good at this in a way that I find extremely annoying. And anytime she's put on the spot, she has that weird flustering. I'm like, I am those scenes just drive me up a wall.
It's like a rom-com or a bad Hallmark movie,
It is, and that's what it is. Yeah. I mean, that's what it is. But for me, I'm kind of like, I mean, it's I know I think it's something different. And what Lacretia said, it looks like they're having fun with it, and you just tell like the actors like they're having a good time with it. It's away from everybody else. It's their own little thing. We talked about that also. It's its own little thing. I don't know.
But as our good pal Susan said a few weeks ago, I'm glad they're having fun. I'm not having any fun watching those scenes.
Frank, do you ever have fun while watching anything though? Like,
True. Frank.
I can have fun watching scenes that are just terrible and just, but this is just awful. This is just awful. There's like, so bad it's good, and then this is just so bad it's miserable to watch.
Miserable.
Yeah, wow.
And
miserable.
Again, GH shows off its its precarious holdings on time, because like we see Nina at Elijah's office easily able to walk out of there and get to the Tano in the time that Sonny is just looking at that gun out of the gun box. Like it just happened instantaneous. Like the next day, Sonny's been looking at that gun for the longest time because Nina instantly walked from Elijah's office that appeared right at the Tano. It just it's so terrible.
Well, the fans agree with you in chat. They agree with you, Frank. They're like,
like most people are on your side, Frank. But what does that say about our society?
We're very much in trouble.
I mean, we're always simpatico on Sam. At least I'll be a hater there. But
I've joined you guys on that. I'm just like,
yeah. I mean, if you like Sam at this point, it's like, what's wrong with you? Like, I know we're all allowed to like people, but yeah, it's like most of us are on the page of who likes Peter. Just saying, Peter, Sam.
Yeah, and as much as like Phyllis has been an okay character, the stuff with like Phyllis like trying to get Sonny and Mike, I should say, Mike, that's just annoying. Like, come on, Phyllis, stop trying to make this happen. Just everything about the storyline. Just go. Just terrible. So
yeah, we're not happy about that.
One last thing before I know we're wrapping up though. The one thing I did enjoy about the Sean Donnelly episode is everybody having old headshots of Sharon Wyatt as their for the cell phone.
Oh, it was very 80s. It was very 80s. That big hair. I was like, okay, girl. Like, you haven't updated the picture since then, Laura, on the phone. And Mom, I was like, yo, that's right, girl. That's right. I noticed that all.
Cell phones weren't invented when this picture was taken.
Exactly. They sure weren't. I was like, I kind of liked it though. I was
like even Annie, like that's your mom. You've got to have more recent photos of your mom. More recently. Nope. Just gonna use this old headshot.
That was kind of funny actually. But yeah, I mean, that's that's how that works. I think we caught everything. I think I think we did everything. It's almost an hour and a half. We did it all, folks. I think for you. Did anybody say anything? Anybody out there?
For you.
All for you. I think we got everything.
We did it all for you, folks. We did it all for you.
For you. They're all going to laugh at you. So everybody, that's an old Carrie reference. We did watch that movie. Okay, so folks, we're not on next week. We'll be back the week after in June. So it'll be June. And so Lacretia, where am I getting my headshot? Signed headshot. We got. Lacretia, you got a signed headshot?
For SoapCon, yeah, the fulfillment company, they are working on that. So they're sending them out to the actors next week.
Okay,
it takes time. Yeah.
Oh, Edition Days in the chat room. They're wishing us happy anniversary, Tony Moore and gang. Thank you, Tony Moore, and Tony Moore, Michael Mattis, Araceli, and Justin Harold. Thank you for our anniversary. We followed you. I mean, you were Tony was the OG. He started all. Why I'm here because of Tony Moore and Mark J. Freeman. So from the originators of the former sub, like you started the whole thing. You started the whole thing. So you guys, you make sure you say something. Edition Days while in the chat room. Tony Moore started this whole thing. Tony Moore, Frank's over there. Tony Moore, that wasn't Frank. Tony Moore, Peter Ramos, and Mark J. Freeman. They were the OGs. They started the whole thing. I came on shortly thereafter, and then I started the rest of this. And that's why Frank and Lacretia and I, 6 years later, are still here. Again, shout out to Carla Renata, who's doing her show right now. And shout out to Ladine Harvey, wherever she is. And I know it sounds shady, but I don't know where she is. Where she is. That's our only co-host. We don't have anybody else come on the show. And all our guests, whoever come on, and our guests over the years, and people who support us. I appreciate it. Doing these shows. We do it for you guys. We have fun ourselves also. We do it. We give up our Sunday for an hour or so to talk to you.
Shout out to Donnell Turner's, naked chest.
I
still gotta get that cutout.
Yeah, you gotta get the cutout. It has to stand behind you.
I have to get it. I have to get it and show it to you guys. But all of you out there, I mean, seriously, this is my number one show on my network. I mean, like year round. When it comes to Hearts, number one.
Number one.
Number one. We're number one. I need a phone hand. But you guys tune into the audio version and the video version, so I can't complain. Every week, you guys are just like, you come in, and I know I'm gonna have fun in Sacramento. Thank you, in Excremento. I'll be there. And I hope it's not too hot though. I hope I won't die there. It's where dreams go to die. And we try to give this to you as we can, and we're gonna try to get more guests in the show and work on that also. It's been a little tough and challenging, but we're gonna try to do that more of this for you guys within the next year. We survived the pandemic. We survived no soap shows, no new episodes last year. This time last year there was no General Hospital. That was the crazy thing. It was all repeats. We survived that. And to you, Frank, and to the thank you for continuing to join this journey with me.
Absolutely. I find I'm barely more tolerable when you can't see me and only hear me.
I love it. Oh my goodness. Frank, tell me where they can find you on the social medias.
Join me for my my beard watching live stream. So all my social media handles at Happy Go Jackie. Ventilating.
You haven't posted any food in a while, have you?
No, I haven't. I have nothing going on. I mean, I just retweet your posts about the show going up. That's all I got going on. That's it.
Frank.
Oh, they want to. Okay, so on this network, we did a crossover BBYNR episode 2 weeks ago. It was very successful. Now they're asking me to do a crossover General Hospital When Calls to Heart. They don't watch When Calls to Heart. I can't do it with them.
Yeah, I mean, is it Frisco on there though? Jack Wagner. Okay, I knew something.
And Felicia did show up for a couple episodes.
So,
but they don't watch it. I mean, I would do it, but they don't watch it.
They betrayed the fans in the finale. What is going on? They betrayed everything.
I mean, I've seen
the story. I'm in the middle of all of that. They've been screaming at me. I've been in the middle of all of that. Oh yes. Them When Calls to Heart fans are so built. The Hardys, my Hardy people. Yeah. There's something else. So yes, that's all I'll say about that. Everybody, you can follow Lacretia Lyon. You can tell where you is.
Yeah, since I'm Lacretia Lyon, guys, you can always find me at LACRETIALYON anywhere on the internet, since there is only one.
Only one, bitches. And you can follow me. We're all James Lott Jr. is sold at James Lott Jr. and all social media platforms. I'm gonna give a shout out to Alexis Torres, who I stole that from. So let me have it. And she was one of my first engineers. So any of my shows I did. So shout out to you. Can follow her at atorres890 She is back east and near Philadelphia, living her life like it's golden. So a big shout out to her. And the GH page, we have a GH page, follow that there. And thanks to all the GH groups that let me post this little podcast in their groups. There's a lot of you guys out there, so thank you. Also check out my audio dramas. Frank's in a couple of them. Lacretia's in one. There's 11 of them out there. Go ahead and check them all out on all streaming services you can think of that are audio. There's all kinds of, I do all these audio dramas, so check those out. And I also do the Dallas After Show and the Falcon Crest After Show, so check those out too. Everyone, please have a great week. Have a good Memorial Day weekend. Shout out to all the fallen heroes that passed, who served our country. That's what this is all about for them. And support the Wounded Warriors Project for the ones that come home that are wounded and need attention and deserve our attention. Also, that too. So thank you very much and take care.